It was now totally dark. It seemed like the forest was afraid of us as afraid of us as we were of it. These trees politely moved away, grouping on the sides of the path, patiently watching us. An owl hooted something in the faraway distance, but more quietly than usual. I wasn't afraid walking next to Sylvia. I was aroused. Probably in any other situation, even in the real world, I wouldn't be too scared to go in the forest without a proper path, but I tried to get rid of these thoughts. Although it was strange, Sylvia probably soothed my self-preservation instincts, and my sense of reality were blunted. If it continued this way, I would jump towards some beast with a smile on my face. You're not afraid at all, are you? Meaning? What do you mean, you wuss, huh? I ain't scared of shite, you bastard. Sylvia turned around and looked at me, smiling in a strange way, either with misunderstanding or a gentle mockery. Or maybe I was just seeing things. Well, the night, the forest, the old camp, being alone with me. Yeah, it sort of gives me chills, especially the last one, you perv. Just sort of? Are you afraid? No, well, yes, but it's natural, human reaction to seeing boobs. I mean, in this situation, wasn't talking about something else. I didn't want to show fear, but I was really scared. I just felt that being scared is what I should be in a situation like this. It wasn't like my body had stopped producing antibodies to fight against infection. I was scared not by the night force, but by the fact that I was reacting to everything that was happening here in the wrong way. Or on the other hand, I didn't want to make a fool of myself. I see. Sylvia smiled and continued walking. Ellipses followed far behind. The path surrounded by the trees and bushes was becoming more and more narrow. The deeper we went into the forest, the less clearly we could see the moon. For a moment, the clouds hid the moon and everything was submerged in almost pitch blackness. Why did you close your eyes? I closed my eyes, and when I opened them, the moon had taken its place again and painted the world in a bright white color of its night shroud. I only realized how much I hated the dark. Finally, a clear space appeared far ahead, and a minute later we were standing at the edge of a forest glade. Forest glade. What's a glade? A glen? Glade. I can't remember what a glade is. I know what a glade is, but what's the forest glade? I don't think that exists. Whatever. There was a ramshackle old camp building, eroded by rain, rust and beetles. What? Eroded by rust and beetles. What did the beetles do to it? Can't buy me love. Anyways, you could rent it though. It smiled at us with a broken windows and a gap-toothed mouth. A silent rebuke from the dead to the living could be read in the smile. Oops, sorry. I hit the button and it restarted the music. A broken windows gap-toothed. A cemetery fog clouded the whole glade. So ghosts, ghouls, zombies, devils, and other evil entities seemed to loom from the haze. No succubus. The sight was enough to give the average person a heart attack. You ought to know by now, or at least a panic attack. There's a succubus. If Sylvia hadn't taken my hand and been brighter than anything else in the background, I surely wouldn't have been able to stand it. It won't be so scary this way. She smiled. I couldn't say anything else, just grasped her hand tightly. What was I even doing here? Looking for shuriken at night in the forest here? How could I even agree? There's not a single normal person who would. It is like I was a video character in a visual novel. But the world around me couldn't really be called normal. I tried to persuade myself that I was finding answers and that it couldn't be really any worse. To be honest, nothing bad had actually happened to me during the last 4 days. Matter of fact, saw lots of nudity. Besides, I had no special reason to think that something bad would happen. Maybe it was just the way the world works. People can't live without adventures. Shall we go, or are you gonna sit here pissing your pants? Yes, I guess. I mean, to the going, not to the second part. But we didn't make a move. Sylvia seemed to be waiting for me to take the first step, but I had just enough courage to stand there without running away. So we waited there all night. The moon showed up from behind the clouds again, and it lit up the old camp building. Now it seemed less of a tomb, but all the dead pictures in my imagination grew real. Dead? All the dead pictures. Dread would be a better word. All the dread pictures? Visions of ghosts became more focused. The wailing of the wind and grass rustled got clearer. Noises of the unknown origin could be heard from afar. Seems like it was a great place before. I looked at Sylvia carefully. Maybe she was scared, but she was trying to hide it. Knowing that, I felt a little better and a bit calmer. Maybe. Shall we go? Sure, you bastard. I stepped carefully, watching every step, trying not to touch the old fence, the crooked merry-go-round, or the rusty slide. Oh, I didn't notice that there. Yeah, there's a merry-go-round. Those are really creepy when they're old and abandoned, especially like the 60s, 70s, 80s, when they had like these cartoon characters. They still do now, but just those eroded cartoon character faces on some of them look really bad. Anyways, merry-go-rounds or those horsey rides, where they just spring. Yeah, anyways. In some places, the grass were waist high, so any wrong move could lead to a broken leg or a snake bite. Is there snakes in Russia? I'm pretty sure there is. At least we came to the entrance, and I pointed my flashlight inside. I know what I was saying. The darkness that looked back at me was much scarier than the view from outside. At least the moon showed brightly there. I gathered up all my courage and crossed the threshold. You're supposed to carry Sylvia, though. Cross the threshold. It's a marriage thing. Okay. The inside of the old camp building looked like a kindergarten from my childhood. Again, that would be accurate if it closed 20 years ago and you're supposed to be a teenager or so. From my childhood, the layout, the interior, even the rotten furniture was similar. Well, I shivered, picked out more and more remains of the joy childhood long gone with my flashlight. Ooh, I haven't seen this one before. Creepy. This place gives me some chills, lad. Sylvia was not only holding my hand now, but embracing it, firmly placing herself against me. It felt great. I didn't sense fear in her voice. I wonder whether it was a good idea to come here in the middle of the night. Perhaps not. Shall we go back then? No! What about Shurek? She said in a general astonishment. Well, Shurek. Why did he even come here in the first place? Maybe he isn't even here. Where else could I be? Home! Anyways, I don't know. Eaten by wolves, maybe. Way to be optimistic. Don't say that, you bastard. Yeah, they have wolves in Russia. Sylvia frowned and stepped away from me. I was already so used to being with her that I was slightly upset by her reproach. Well, okay. Let's assume that there are no wolves. Just maybe Draculas. Yeah, Draculas. Well, since we're here, let's search. Ellipses joined the fray. We searched all the rooms of the old camp. Playrooms, bedrooms, canteens, kitchen, toilets, dungeons, sex rooms. None of them seemed to show up anything. I even looked in the closet, which was choked with an empty decay of cardboard boxes. Look. When we returned to the place we started from, Sylvia picked up something from the floor and gave it to me. It was an old doll. Torn, frayed, threads missing, hand and eye felt and faded from damp. So what? I just pissed my pants. I pity it. What, this doll? Yeah. Why would you pity it? You see, someone played with her, then just threw her away and forgot about her. And she's been here all alone all these years. In the rain, in the cold. I couldn't really tell if Celia was serious or not. I didn't think this is the time to think about such things. On the other hand, what would be a proper time for that? Sylvia looked really upset. Yes, maybe. I took the old doll and examined it. I remember how I once found a stuffed lion the same way that Sylvia just found this doll. I took him home, washed him, and was as careful with him as with the other toys, even though he was long past his retirement age. You should give it to Ulsa. Sylvia laughed. Suddenly the wind howled down the passage, sighing some kind of eerie tune. Sighing. The light of the flashlight, a light flashed as I instinctively jumped, caught my legs on something, and tumbled to the floor. Are you alright? Again, that's cute, if not worrying, I guess. Sylvia ran over to help me get up. Yes, more or less. Got dust everywhere. I tripped on a trapdoor, ironically. It's strange that we hadn't noticed it already. Yes, it is. Excuse me. The dirt around the door was cleared. It seemed like it'd been opened not too long ago. We're not going down there, are we? I asked, trying to preempt Sylvia's suggestion. Excuse me. She only gave me a sad glance. Come on. Are we playing at diggers now? I moaned while lifting the latch with cover with quite an effort. My common sense was crying out, telling me I shouldn't do this. It's an old decaying building from this World War II times, and we're going underground in it. Now, admittedly, it actually probably would be a bomb shelter, so the underground would be well built. But still, my logic suggested the world kill me. I already be dead. But it only because Sylvia, otherwise there'd be no way I would go down. By the way, I've actually done this without a female, and we still do it anyways. 2 meters of rusty metal ladder led me to the dry concrete floor. Dirty, rather. I leaned over the edge, illuminated a narrow passage, going somewhere into the darkness. And what is there? I think I heard about a bomb shelter under the camp. A bomb shelter? Logic? That's pretty logical, considering the time it was built. Why would Sherrick need to go there? Like I know, you bastard. Of course, it wasn't necessary for him to open the hatch, and it'd be obvious that someone had opened it just recently, but who would be more likely to get an idea of going down there than a mad inventor? If we discard theories of supernatural involvements, there can be no other humans in the forest. At least, that's what I thought. Alright, I'll go first, so I can look at you as you walk down. Anyways, then if everything's fine, follow me. What might not be fine? Huh? Sylvia looked scared, but seemed to ask more out of politeness. Well, I don't know. Rats, for example. Are you afraid of rats? I guess I shouldn't have asked. I sighed deeply and began to descend. Ellipses asked, why did it have to be rats? See, again, this didn't happen last time. We advanced slowly, holding hands. A pitch darkness, the flashlight was not helping much. Only occasionally would it illuminate a piece of old newspaper, scrap metal lying here and there. Suddenly it began to feel as if the walls and ceilings were covered in endless twisting cords. It seemed that the floor covered in endless twisting cords were pressing in on me. There we go. If the passage was getting narrow. I spread my arms, trying to measure the passage width. Are we still far off? Asked Sylvia sadly. Far off from where? I got no clue. Alright, you don't have to snap at me, you bastard. There we go. Just then a massive metal door appeared before me, as if out of nowhere. Oh, cried Sylvia softly. I tried the handle, but it seemed to yield a bit. Are you ready? I'm not sure. Though, speaking frankly, what could you be prepared for in such a situation? The wheel turned a few times, squeaking horribly, then finally reached its limit and went quiet. I pulled the door with all my weight, and it reluctantly opened on top of me. Door fell down. I died. End of story. By the way, I just noticed this over here. This looks to be... Oh, basic first aid. So again, it's a bomb shelter, assuming you'll have head trauma and waist trauma. So they're showing you how to bandage up people that got damaged. Okay. There was some sort of chamber behind it. Oh, there's also a... Down here, I noticed there was a cart, which turned out to be a bomb shelter, the bomb shelter itself. We entered, the lights suddenly went on, making me flinch. Though it was likely that there was an independent power source here, and at the time of these catacombs had been dug, people had been building things to last. The bomb shelter looked exactly like what I imagined. It had everything it needed to sustain prolonged human existence during the war. The lockers contained chemical protection suits, gas masks, dry rations, water cans, and at the far wall, I noticed a lot of various tools, pressure meters, radiation meters, and a radio of some others. So, yeah, you could almost take some of the stuff back. I'm trying to think. I had a thought, but it didn't escape me. However, this place... Oh, it's vault. It's missing a suit for 111. However, this place looked like no one had ever used it, which was not actually that surprising. Furthermore, it looked like no one had ever entered it as it was built. Slivia gave me a questioning look. Well, Shirk is definitely not here. Otherwise, he'd probably be sleeping in the bed. So why don't we make use of it, huh? But where? Where's the bastard? Not a clue. But if he was here, he couldn't have just vanished. I looked around the room again and noticed another door on the wall to my left. Maybe there. However, the door wouldn't open. What if what if it's barred from the other side? But why? I don't know. I'm just throwing out shit there, you bastard. Still, it was quite possible, assuming that he was there at all. By the look of things, Shirk was hiding, maybe running from someone. Such thoughts made me uneasy, and I felt like putting myself on the other side of the door as fast as I could. I pushed hard, but the door only gave a dull creak. Maybe this could work. Shirk handed me a crowbar. I fumbled with it, considering how I could better tackle the door. Let's give it a try. And again, it slammed on top of me. The end. Using all my strength, I managed to pull the door off its hinges, and it crashed onto the floor. While I was recovering from my efforts, Celia pointed a flashlight down the newly opened passage. There's a corridor, just the same as the previous one. Man, this place is really a maze. Shall we go? Hold on. I sat down on the bunk, took the rusty pillowcase off the pillow, and wiped my forehead. Let me catch my breath. Slivia sat down next to me and began to study the details of the floor tile patterns. Better turn off the flashlight for now. Yeah. She blushed slightly. Excuse me. Quick. Clicking off the switch. It's just plain creepy. I caught myself thinking that I had not been treating these events as real for the last half hour. As if they had been happening to me, as if they were just a dream. Just back then, 4 days ago, it was the first minute after I found myself here. Yeah, lately I might have been starting to get used to this world, this reality, and as if it's become reality for me. And a feeling deep in my soul that I had to find an exit was not so acute anymore. But now again, in a blink of an eye, the forest, the old camp, the bomb shelter, these were absolutely nothing supernatural about any of it, but neither was anything normal, like anything from the previous life. Yeah. Slivia agreed. Don't you find any of this strange? What exactly? Well, the fact that we're sitting here, just you and me in the night, wouldn't it be normal in such a situation to instead wait until morning and call the police? I guess so, if you're a chicken. She replied thoughtfully. Of course, I almost volunteered. I shouldn't have. Well, almost didn't quite the word, but still. But you just wanted to help the poor bastard. What if, Sherrick, here, we could find him as soon as possible? At this rate, we'll be the ones they're looking for. You know, he did manage to get lost here. Slivia looked frustrated. All right. I didn't mean anything like that. Maybe he's not here. Maybe he's actually went back to camp long time ago. Yeah, maybe. But we should still check, right? Of course, you bastard. Slivia got up and held out her hand to me. It seemed she wasn't as afraid as me, though I was already tired of being scared myself and now only wanted all of this to end as soon as fucking possible. Ellipses looked through all the ancient porn in this locker. The corridor was identical to the other one which we came through to get to the bomb shelter. I was walking at a slow pace, carefully watching the floor and checking from time to time whether the passage was getting narrower. Look! Slivia held my hand tighter and pointed at the breach in the middle of the tunnel. It was wide enough for a man to climb down or fall down. Maybe. I pointed the light down and it seemed to be nothing but the ground at the bottom. I think we should check this out. The hole was shallow enough for us to climb out afterwards, so at first sight there was nothing to be afraid of. Ah, this place. I climbed down carefully and helped Slivia. We found ourselves in some kind of mine. The walls and ceiling were reinforced with wooden beams or rails stretched out into the distance. Here and there, the earth pressing down against the fragile design broke through the boards, which were rotting with age. It made the whole structure look a bit unreliable. Where do you think we are now? Do you know what kind of mine? What would they have mined here? Coal, perhaps. Perhaps. We started to advance slowly. Stones were treacherously shift under our feet. Now and then, the beam coming from the flashlight trembled and jumped from one wall to the other, often chasing shapeless shadows which disappeared as soon as the light was pointed at them. It's scarier here than it was above. I guess so. The further we went, the stronger my confidence became that Sherrick had absolutely nothing to do with the place. He couldn't be taken by a chupacabra. Called it! Did I? Or was it another playthrough? Anyways, could he? Alright, we can't rule out that possibility either, even though chupacabra is actually Mexico and not Russia or Seattle. At last we came to a fork in a tunnel. Where do we go now? How the hell do I know? I tried to inject at least some semblance of calm in my voice, but really had no clue. None at all, not a sausage. Not where to go, not where Sherrick was, not even why we were here. What if we get lost? Yeah, right. We'll just leave a mark that we have already been here. I picked up a rather large stone and carefully carved the cross into one of the legs of the supporting beam. There. Now we know that we've already passed this spot. Good. Slivia smiled. So, now which way? Ellipses wanted to know also. Okay, if I remember right, this is kind of a maze. I don't think it matters, but I'm going to write down my options. Or not options. I'm going to choose, write down which one I chose. So if I go left, we came to some kind of miner's camp. Picks and helmets were everywhere. A rusty wagon stood in the corner. All the items seemed old and they dated beginning of the 20th century or the middle. Something in Russian. Something more in Russian. But I sensed that the exit was somewhere nearby and we went further. Something in Russian. That doesn't help me out. Let's go right then. Maybe I went backwards. Oh, okay, I just went right 3 times from the beginning again. Finally, we walk out a tunnel into a rather large hall with a high ceiling. Though it's hardly could be called a hall, there must have been some use to this mine, something here. Coal? Perhaps maybe gold? Crystals? It looks very shiny. The walls were cut by pickaxe and numeric drills. This place was pitch black, so our only salvation was the flashlight. If it breaks, it's unlikely that we'll ever get out of here. By the light, I noticed a piece of red cloth in the corner. A pioneer neckerchief. Shirk was obviously here somewhere. Shirk! 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 The only echoes answered us. Don't worry. He's got to be okay. Frankly speaking, at this moment, I was far more worried about myself. But where could he have gone from here? The chamber had no exit. Of course, there are probably still places in the tunnels we haven't been to yet. Then we have to keep searching. So that was a special spot. Let me mark it. And why don't we just continue going right? I just have to go right, apparently. Another turn and the flashlight lit up on a wooden door. I wonder if this is actually random or not, but... well, at least that's something. To tell the truth, I was so tired of wandering around this mine that I had completely stopped thinking about Shirk, and I only wanted to find an exit as soon as possible. What do you think's behind it? We're just about to find out. Angel, something in Russian, more safety, at symbol, obey. Hey, you got that there. Past the door was a small chamber with is that a flamethrower? Hold on. Oh no, it's just a bunch of bottles. Okay. Bomb shelter, like a house rooms. The floor was littered with empty bottles. The walls were painted with mess of graffiti, which meant that other people more than once visited this place before. Although from the look of things, they had done so rather long ago. Wait a bit, Obey wasn't till like the 2000s, wasn't it? Oh well. I was running the flashlight beam around the room trying to check every part of it when suddenly... a madman! I found the wild Shirk in the kernel. Doot, 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 doot. Pikachu's eye to you. Anyways. Excuse me. Curled up in the corner. Shirk! I'm okay. Clyde Slivia. However, it looked as if he was not paying any attention to us. Hey, here you are. We've been looking for you all night. Why in the world did you end up here? Shirk looked up at me hazily with unseeing eyes. Who are you? What do you mean? Who are you? Get up already. Let's go. I'm not going anywhere with you. Shirk turned away and stared into the darkness again. You want to trick me again. You'll make me go in circles throughout these tunnels, won't you? You will. I know you will. You laughed when I said that losing you would make me lose my mind. And they're coming to take me away. Ha ha. They're coming to take me away. Ho ho hee hee. Ha ha. To the happy farm. Anyways, I love that song. Shirk's voice turned into an infernal whisper. Cut it out already. I wanted to approach him and pull him upright, but Sylvia stopped me. He's not quite right in the head, you bet. He might have a little bit too much of the creature in him. Well, I'm not quite myself either. You wander here all night. You sure you wouldn't be quite yourself? She shook her head reproachfully and slowly went up to Shirk while carefully staying in the light. It's all right. It's all right. It's me, Sylvia. For real? Shirk turned around and looked at her immediately and started sobbing quietly. Of course. Who else could it be? And Simon, with him. We came to find you. Everything's... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. I thought it was Shirk saying it. Of course. Who else could it be? And Simon's with me. We came to find you, you bastard. Everything's fine. So much easier than with Lena. Lena I had to defend. Swing against them. Are you really not them? Certainly not. What are us? He tried to get up, but he was apparently disoriented, and he would have fallen if not for Sylvia, who caught him by the arm. Easy there, you lad. Careful. When they came up to me, I said, all right, it's time to get out of here. We can't go back. Back where? Into the mine? Yes. Shurik was speaking calmly, but at the same time his voice was trembling slightly. Why is that? It's where they are. Who are they? The voices. What voices? I started to lose my patience. This situation certainly wasn't normal, but if there had been anything paranormal here, by the laws of horror cinema, it would have long since showed its face by now. Calm down, Sherlock. Tell us everything in detail. He took a few deep breaths and started. I needed some parts for the robot, and I heard that there was a bomb shelter in the old camp, and there was usually a lot of different equipment in the bomb shelter. If it's old, of course, but worth disassembling. You can always find coils, resistors. So I went in early in the morning, thought I could finish quickly and get back by breakfast. I got everything I needed. He took some light bulb wires in the pocket store to us. But then, up in the bomb shelter, I heard some sounds from behind the door, something like moans or wailings. At first, I got scared, but then I thought that a person could be in danger, so I went there. And here was this mine, this damn maze, and I got completely lost. Heard voices, the voices, always telling me something, sometimes shouting, sometimes whispering, and I could never make out the words. He was ready to burst into tears, but Sylvia patted him gently on the head, and Sherrick continued. Anyways, I found this room, and at least here you can't hear them. So you decide to sit here and wait for rescue like a B-film? I asked sarcastically. Sylvia shot me an angry glance. Well, in any case, it's not time to get out of here. It's time to get out of here, if there are no other obligations. Come, I know a shortcut. Well, why didn't you take it? Yes, I walked all over this place. All right. Ellipses pointed out the fact that he could have left at any time then. Sherrick did not lie. He had hips that went for miles. Indeed, after wandering for just about 2 minutes in the mine, we found ourselves under a grate, through which we could easily see the sky. Then, why didn't you get out of here yourself? Try it, you'll see. I pulled myself up and pulled the grate a few times. You could have yelled, I see Gendo's flags right there. It's true, you can't break it just like that. Gotta use something heavy. Sylvia! I looked down at Sylvia and Sherrick. Try the flashlight, maybe, you bastard. The flashlight? I fumbled with it. It's not one of those cheap Chinese fakes from the 90s, which I got in college. No, it's a real Soviet durable-made flashlight. Not a hammer, of course, but it's hard enough to try. I swung my sword back and forth. I swung it and smashed the grate, aiming for a spot where it attached to the wall. Soon I got lucky, and Sylvia was and I heard cracking sounds and a few bolts fell down. Ellipses ran for freedom. Hey, Gendo. A minute later, I was laying on the grass under the monument and breathing in the fresh night air, with the light. Although after the mine, any air would seem fresh. Well, then, I'll be going. Thank you. Sherrick looked a bit lost. I eyed him questionably for a bit, but ended up saying nothing and just waved my hand in goodbye. After all, I had neither the strength nor the will to talk to him. And what would I say to him? Scolding him would be of no use, and there probably goes the same for trying to learn anything. What a night. Sylvia was sitting next to me and looking dreamily at the moon. Right, so. If someone told me just a week ago that I would be in a pioneer camp in the 80s and would have even had to crawl through bomb shelters. But it was fun now, wasn't it? In a way. There was indeed something amusing about all this. But there's also something strange. During the last few hours, absolutely anything could have happened to me, but in the end, nothing at all happened. In a couple years, I would probably remember this just as a funny incident from childhood. If I lived that long, and if this was actually my childhood and not a parallel universe or whatever. What do you think? Did he really hear something there? I don't know. It's possible, don't you know? Of course, but more likely, it was just his imagination, don't you know? In such a situation, anyone could start going mad, don't you know? That was not only the most logical explanation, but also the most probable, because nothing had happened to me or Sylvia. Well, if I, for one... my throat is giving out. Well, I, for one, think we should be... you should see a psychologist. Oh, dear Lord. Dear Lord. Ha! I guess he should. The nut job. Sylvia laughed. All right. Time to go to bed. Come with me. Aye. Why, are you happy all of a sudden? I felt like I needed to say something to Sylvia. I was not sure that I wanted to, but I could feel the need. Thank you. For what? She gave me a surprised look. I wouldn't have managed that without you. I did. It was nothing. Wink. Sylvia blushed. I was in her debt. Again. I wonder how I could repay her. No, don't say it. At least partially for all that she has done for me. I stared at the night sky, slowly falling asleep. All of today's adventures left me so tired that I had no strength left. You know, under different circumstances, I would have surely confessed my love to you, I said, losing touch with reality. Thoughts usually work much faster than common sense, but Sylvia wasn't there anymore. It's probably for the best. At least she didn't hear. Though, it's strange. Why did she leave without saying goodbye? Well, whatever. I'll sleep on it and see her in the morning. Poof. Where rock music was playing. Dun, dun. I was so tired that I barely made it into the camp leader's cabin. But there was a light on in the window. That means she's waiting for me? And that in turn means that I am in for a lecture again. And this time, it won't just be as pointless as ever. I had absolutely no desire to discuss whatever I was right or wrong. The desk chair standing nearby was beckoning me like a friend, as if suggesting I should sleep in it, forgetting about the mine shirk and the camp leader. Excuse me. Hey! Oh, here you are. Wait a minute, I said it or I said Blinkley. Still looking at the cherished deck chair. Simon! Yeah. We found Shirk. Sylvia will give you the details tomorrow, and now I'd really like to sleep. She looked at me confused for a moment and then replied, Oh, well, okay, fine. I didn't know if mentioning Sylvia played its role, but half a minute later I was already in my bed. The events of the day kept turning over for a short while in my head, but soon it started to ache, and it was as if my consciousness switched to safe mode and started to reboot. And there we go. That should be the end of day 4. Yep, and no? I thought Sylvia would pop up here in the corner. Because again, I think I made it past the 6-point minimum for her route. Maybe I have. Maybe I've been screwing up this whole time. But in the meantime, is this save? This is load. This is save. Let's save day 4. And then we can start day 5. Now, there should only be 6 days, if I remember right. So, and I think, again, if I'm doing my math right, which probably not, I should be at least 6+ points towards Sylvia, which is the way the system go. Again, I should go to main menu. The way the system works is if, answering questions a certain way gets you points with each girl. Getting X amount of points gives you a bad ending, getting higher points. So 6 gives you a bad. 6 to 9, gives you bad. Anything above 9 gives you a good ending. So I should be somewhere at least past the 6, getting close to 9. Because I remember that first time I was surprised when Alice popped up in my window. And that was the first ending, which was hardcore. Alice bad ending. So, oops. Did I click? Oh, do I get to play the game again? Oh no, this is just the ending. Which I can't skip, really, because, again, this computer doesn't think I've done it yet. I didn't know I could do that. Yeah, I'll okay. Didn't know I could do that. Okay, anyways, but that aside, so there's one more day. I think I have 1 or 2 days left, because I think it's only a week, if not 6 days. And I think the last day usually does. Again, the last day isn't much, but the prologue at the end, it usually is pretty long. So we'll play it by ear. I just wanted to continue this now that I'm feeling a bit more better, not so much under the weather. So, anyways, and on the downside, she didn't get nude today. So, you can't win them all. But we at least got to see what happens when she was with us in the mine. That didn't happen last time. So, anyways, again, plan is, just really quick, Sylvia good and Lena bad. Lena good. No, wait a minute. Sylvia good, Lena bad, Sylvia bad, Lena good. As far as ending goes. Then I can go to Ulsa's, Miku's, and I know there's that cat lady they keep hinting at, which I don't know if the penultimate ending or the ending, or if there's an ultimate ending at the end. Again, I've been getting cliff notes, but try not to spoil it, so we'll see. Anyways, all that aside, let me know if you want to see more of this or what you do want to see me play. Suggestions are always appreciated. Otherwise, thanks again for watching and see you next time, Pioneer.